Yo, what's going on, guys? In today's video I'm going to explain why the hatz is absolutely unplayable. Okay, so in one of the updates they did a couple of weeks ago, they significantly nerfed its HP recovery and stamina recovery, like by a huge amount. Not only that, they also nerfed clamp. I want you guys to look at my stamina right here. It's practically full. Now I go in for a clamp here and look at the stamina drain. It's been barely a couple seconds and my whole entire stamina bar is absolutely gone. I don't know how the devs expect you to pick up anything with clamp anymore if that's how fast it drains. That's just absolutely crazy. Let's get into the stamina recovery. It is actually super bad. It's probably the worst in the whole, it's definitely the worst in the whole entire game. This thing's stamina recovery is like the aloe, what the aloe used to be. Back when its stamina recovery was absolutely terrible. You have to sit there for about a whole minute, like fully resting a whole minute for you to get your stamina back. Now the health, you have to sit there for like 6 to 10 minutes to get your whole entire HP bar back, which is a very long time compared to a lot of the other things, considering the HP on the hatz isn't even that good. So yeah, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the very bad stamina recovery. The HP recovery is a little bit annoying because this thing takes a lot of damage from just hitting trees and stuff, so it's just collision damage. But I can see why they made this thing stamina recovery really bad, because okay, it does make sense a little bit because you can travel across the map really fast and it's annoying if a hatz stays on you. Fair enough. But because the stamina is so bad, it's just like by the time you find something, you don't even have the stamina to clamp it, because you have to be at least 90% stamina to clamp something, unless you are an exceptional hatzy player and you can pick things up without even touching the ground. There's also a few players that can do that, but for the majority of people you're probably not doing that. And yeah, it's just crazy. To put in comparison how big of a nerf this thing got, this thing's stamina recovery while sleeping used to be 400%. It went down to 200%. When you're sitting, it used to be 200%. Now it's at 50%. This thing's stamina recovery is horrific, and I'm fine with that. That's fine. That's cool. But at least if you're going to make it that bad, make it to where we can actually clamp people and pick them up and actually kill them from fall damage. Because anytime I pick someone up, I just instantly I'm just out stamina. Not only that, clamp no longer is immune to knockback, so now when you clamp someone, it just drops them if they have a patchy and he kicks you or charges you or does any type of thing. So yeah, it's just unplayable. Another thing is, if now that clamp doesn't have immunity to knockback, you can no longer take off, because when you get knocked back you just can't take off. That's just how it works. So you won't be seeing any more hatzy footage in this video because it was just unplayable. So I'm just going to talk over this other footage about how terrific the hatzy really is. Now, the clamps increase for stamina usage as well. It went from 0.25 stamina use to use the clamp to 8, which is quite a big jump. Not only that, the HP recovery while sleeping went from 50% to now 25%. That's pretty big too. It's just, yeah, you may as well just go to hot springs and heal up there. There's no point in you fully resting. So, yeah. Thing is, hatz is very situational. I feel like hatz is supposed to be played for clamp. I feel like that's what it's really good at, just picking up 2 slots and dropping them to their death. Well, that's what it was good at before they absolutely nerfed it to the ground and made it unplayable, to the point where if you clamp something, you may as well just be dead, because you're going to run out of stamina within 5 seconds of clamping someone. But so obviously they increased the weight of their kilo, so now you can no longer pick up a kilo. So what can you pick up? You can pick up conchs, you can pick up struffies, camptos, the Latin, the Dinu, the Apache. That's it. That's all you're going to pick up. So it's just such a situational dino, and there's only specific dinos that you can really kill. They obviously reworked the way its barrage works, which is something. It's great for killing raptors once again, but for killing anything bigger, the old barrage system was definitely better because you just stack it to 10 and it would do an insane amount of damage. But I don't really care that they reworked that or they made the stamina recovery really bad. It's the fact that you cannot clamp anything, because if you clamp someone, unless you just don't land on the floor and use the momentum to just drive, like fly right through and get up really high really fast, that's the only time it's valuable. Other than that, if you clamp someone, you're just instantly out of stamina, which is so dumb. I just don't understand why they would make it that bad. Like, I understand a lot of people didn't like the hatz. I never really thought it was that good, honestly. Like, I never really did. I thought it was fine what it was. I would have understood a slight the change to the peck barrage, and I understand the stamina recovery being really bad, considering nothing can ever catch it, so you're fine. But the fact is, you just don't have the stamina to do anything. Plus, you have a bad stam recov. So it's like, if something's got a really bad stam recov, you have to give it a decent amount of stamina to actually use to make up for it. Because if you have both just horrific stam and horrific stam recov, you're never killing anything. I think the nerf was still way too big. You can't just nerf something stamina recovery by 200%. That's just insane. 200% is such a big amount. I would have understood maybe like 50% or 100%, but 200% is a huge amount. And that's the thing, I feel like when devs nerf things, they either just nerf it to the ground or make such a small change to where it doesn't matter. They never go in between. I would have felt like 100% less stam recov while sleeping would have been fine. Yeah, it would have been annoying, but it still wouldn't be that bad. And I understand clamp using stamina, but I just don't understand how fast the stamina gets used while you've already clamped something. It's insane. Maybe it's the new clamping system or whatever, but it just doesn't work for the hatz at all. So yeah, they either have to increase the stamina on the hatz or do something, because it's literally unplayable. Like, there's no point in using clamp. I feel like the best thing you can do on the hatz is just dive bomb people. That's about it. Not to mention, they've also decreased its round multiplier for turning radius, and it's just like, I don't know if it needed that. I mean, I don't think that's going to change much, because once again, I feel like that if you're playing a hatz, I feel like you should be using the clamp to its full extent. It just minimises your chances of dying, and yeah. Now, the hatz went from being one of the most fun dinos I've ever played to easily the most boring, most annoying, most frustrating dino I've ever played. Now, I played this thing for like 4 or 5 hours and barely got any action at all, especially now that you can't pick up a kills, which it's annoying, but I can see why they done it, so it's fair enough. But it's just like, even when you do find something to clamp, you just can't kill it. It's just like, because you pick it up and within the first 5 seconds you're out of stamina, you land, and then the whole team that they had around them just swarms you and you're dead, because your stamina recovery is that bad that it's just over. Now, they have increased its food and water, but that doesn't matter, because now that you've made a 200% difference in stamina recovery, a lot of the time is just spent you recovering either health or water. So by the time you've done all of that, you're just starving again. So it did absolutely nothing, just zero. And so yeah, I mean, increase its food and water again, because it's just like, or increase the stamina recover, because 200% is way too much, like way too much. I feel like 100% is the in between, and that's what it should be. Also make the clamp doesn't use an insane amount of stamina. Like, as you seen in the start of the video, I had 90% of my stamina bar, and within 5 seconds I went to 0, and I couldn't kill the Stroophy, which is insane. So yeah, and it's really not hard. Like it's so hard to clamp someone if they're actually aware of their surroundings. And yeah, also because of how terrific the stam recovery is, obviously, just like I said, you find a target, you have to go sit down for a minute. By the time you've sat down, got your stamina, you fly back up, the guy's gone, because a whole minute's went by. And especially if you're not sitting in a hot spot, a lot of people just move around all the time. So yeah, you end up just losing the guy that you finally found after a while, because there's only really like 6 clampable dinos that you can actually get.